माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीकृष्ण वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचरी यमुना तीरवनचरी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल श्री नाम संकीर्तन की जय हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद जी की जय ग्रंथ राज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय उपस्थित भक्त वृंद की जय निताय गौर प्रभुनंदे हरि हरि बोल मंगलाचरण ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांस्य श्रीरूपं सकृजतां सगण रघुनाथनुतं तं सजीवं साधवतं सवधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सगणललिता श्रीशगनुतं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो इष्टपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठभूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देशतारिणे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमन्दे श्रीगुरुन्देन्तारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम् Hare Krishna. So again, we welcome all the assembled Vaishnavas for joining today's session. And this is a wonderful month just now started, as we all know, Chaturmas. So I'm very grateful towards each one of you for giving me this opportunity to speak something about Srimad Bhagavatam in the assembly of pure Vaishnavas like you all. Because it has been said in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th Canto that not only the speaker gets purified, but the speaker, the inquirer, and the hearer of Srimad Bhagavatam, all of them three are purified. Those who put questions also, they also get purified. Those who hear about it also, they also get purified. And those who speak about it, they also get purified. So this is the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. And in the same 10th canto, first chapter, verse number 4, it has been described wonderfully about the glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam, the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it has been said, निवृत्ततर्षरूपगीयमानात् भवौषधाक्षोत्र मनोभिरामात् का उत्तम श्लोक गुणानुवादात् पुमन् विरजेन विना पशुगणात्. So that means those who are Nivritta Tarsharupagiyamana, those who are free from all the Trishnas, what we say, the material desires, material hankerings, those who are free from, those who are released from all those desires, those who have overcome that platform of desires, upagiya manat, they actually engaged in hearing and singing about the glories of the Lord. Because why they speak and hear about it? Because it has been explained that it is bhava aushadha kshotra manobhiramat, because it is that medicine which will cure the disease of bhava rog, the material disease which we are, which all we are caught up with. So it cures that material disease very wonderfully, because this medicine is not very bitter, but it is very sweet medicine. Shotro Mano Abhiramat. And the actual way to receive this medicine is by oral reception, is by hearing through our 2 ears. Ka Uttama Shloka Gunanuvadat. And hearing about whom? The Uttama Shlok. Uttama Shlok means the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose glories are described with Uttama Shlokas, with choicest and beautiful shlokas. And other meaning is that the shlokas, the verses which glorify the Lord, that is Uttama shlokas only. So that's why Uttama shloka gunanu adat, the glorification of the Lord that describes his name, form, qualities, pastimes, all this all this paraphernalia, when it is described about the Supreme Lord by those devotees who are free from all the desires, or those who want to become free from all those desires, then what happens? They hear through the oral reception, and they receive this medicine in this way. And all these peoples will engage in taking this medicine of Krishna consciousness, of hearing and chanting, but except that one person, he will not take it. And the one person is mentioned here as either a butcher or one who is killing his own personal existence. So only these two people will will not get or will not take the benefit of hearing Krishna consciousness. But as we see, you all week after week come here just to hear and relish the pastimes of this Lord Krishna and his devotees. And Srimad Bhagavatam talks about only three things: Bhakta, Bhagwan, and Bhakti. So, the Srimad Bhagavatam talks about devotees who, by the process of bhakti, they achieve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or they conquer the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why one name of Lord is Ajita. And Srila Prabhupada explains that Ajita means he is unconquerable, but a devotee knows the secret, and just by hearing about him, chanting about him, and engaging himself in loving devotional service, the devotee conquers that Ajita also, who is unconquerable. So only devotee can conquer the Lord. Otherwise, there is no possibility to conquer the Lord. So similarly, such beautiful pastimes of the Lord, which are depicted in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, are similarly explained here in this canto third. So let's all begin with our today's verses. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam third canto, the status quo, and we are reading, or we are beginning with the third chapter, which is entitled The Lord's Pastimes Out of Vrindavan. So in the previous chapter 2, Uddhavji, very pure devotee and exalted devotee of the Lord, who is the disciple of Brihaspati and who was the personal minister of Lord Krishna, or the personal advisor of Lord Krishna. He, after Krishna left his abode, he is describing the glories of Lord Krishna to Vidurji. So in the earlier chapter, he mentioned some pastimes of Vrindavan. Now Uddhavji is going to explain the pastimes which occurred out of Vrindavan, or which took place out of Vrindavan. So we'll start with our first verse today. Uddhava Uvacha ततः स आगत्य पुरं स्वपित्रोस् चिकीर्षया संबलदेवसंयुतः निपात्य तुङ्गदरिपुयुतनाथम् Atam Vaksharshad Vyasum Ojasoravyam. Atam Vyaksharad Vyasum Ojasoravyam. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Anybody would like to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Shri Uddhav said, thereafter Lord Krishna went to Mathura city with Shri Baldev, and to please their parents, they dragged Kamsa, the leader of the public enemies, down from his throne and killed him, pulling him along the ground with great strength. King Kamsa's death is only briefly described here because such pastimes are vividly and elaborately described in the 10th canto. The Lord proved to be a worthy son of his parents even at the age of 16 years. Both brothers, Lord Krishna and Baldev, went to Mathura from Vrindavan and killed their maternal uncle who had given so much trouble to their parents, Vasudeva and Devaki. Kamsa was a great giant, and Vasudeva and Devaki were thought that Krishna and Balram would be able to kill such a great would Devaki never thought that Krishna and Balram would be able to kill such a great and strong enemy. When the two brothers attacked Kamsa on the throne, their parents feared that how Kamsa would finally get the opportunity to kill their sons, whom they had hidden for so long in the house of Nand Maharaj. The parents of the Lord, due to parental affection, felt extreme danger and they almost fainted. Just to convince them that they had actually killed Kamsa, Krishna and Baldev pulled Kamsa's dead body along the ground to encourage them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much. So now Uddhavji unfolds a new chapter of Lord Krishna's pastimes in Mathura and later on Dwarka. So here Uddhavji gives a very brief description, a synopsis actually, of Krishna's pastimes out of Vrindavan. First of all, we need to understand, as the Acharyas have already explained us, that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Krishna always remains in Vrindavan. He always stays in Vrindavan only. But the for the pastimes, for the Leelas, Lord Krishna goes out of his Vishnu form, goes out in his Aishwarya form to Mathura and Dwarka. Because Lord Krishna always stays uh, in the association of Madhurya devotees, or he wants to always release the Madhurya Leela with his Gopa friends, with his parents, and with the gopis. But now the Lord Krishna pastimes which are happening in Mathura, are his, Aishwarya pastimes. Because it has been said that Dwarka is Purna, Mathura is Purnatar, and Vrindavan is Purnatam. So Lord Krishna always resides in Vrindavan Dham, where because it is the place of sweetness, and there he wants to, hide his Bhagavata. He don't want to show that he is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is having all the six opulences. No, he always likes to stay in Vrindavan, because in Vrindavan he hides his Bhagavata, and with so much love and affection of his pure devotees, that he always wants to serve them. That's why Brahmaji glorifies Lord Sri Krishna in the 14th chapter. Aho bhagyam Nanda Gopavrajokasham Yanmitram Parmanandam Purna Brahma Sanatanam. Lord Brahma says, Aho bhagyam. Basically, it is not a typing error. Our Acharya says that the Aho bhagyam is two times repeated. Aho bhagyam, Aho bhagyam. So Brahmaji tells to Lord Krishna that first Aho bhagya is for you. The first Aho bhagya meaning is for your Gopa friends, the Vrindavan Brajvasis, that that you kindly appeared to play pastimes with them. But secondly, Krishna, the second Avbhagya is for you, because you have got such beautiful devotees around you in Sri Vrindavan. And these devotees, they will not, you will not get such a selfless devotees apart from this Vrindavan Dham, because they are so mad in your love that the gopis want to go to hell also, uh, because for your headache they wants to give you the dust from their lotus feet, and you are sometimes taking the remnants from the plates of your gopas out of love and affection. So this is what your wonderful leelas. And when it comes to Nanda Baba and Yashoda, you take Nanda Baba's paduka on your head and you run. So this is what you are doing in Vrindavan Dham, because out of love and affection. Generally, we in this world we want to become boss. We want to uh, like to be treated as somebody at a higher level, at an elevated position. But Lord Krishna describes his own position of serving his devotees in Vrindavan. Not only in Vrindavan, we will see in Mathura, in Dwarka also, he will engaged in the service of his devotees, because this is the nature of the Lord. That's why it has been said that the Lord always stays in the heart of the devotee, and the devotee always stays in the heart. So it is not a one-way love, it is a two-way communication or two-way love. So that's why Sri Krishna and Balram, they when they went to Mathura city, because Kamsa called them for the Dhanur Yagya, and uh, that Dhanur Yagya was a uh, very big festival which was organized in the Mathura city, and all of the great personalities and all of the people from different states and parts of the world were being called by Kamsa. And similarly, Kamsa sent Akrurji with a new chariot, with a new golden chariot, to bring Kamsa with Krishna and Balram to Mathura from Vrindavan. And that is also a very nice chapter of how Akrura prays and goes to Vrindavan to bring Krishna back to Mathura. Srila Prabhupada explains that whenever we are going to whenever we are going to Vrindavan, we should read that chapter, or we should read that pastime or hear that pastime of Akrura, in what consciousness he was going to Vrindavan to bring Krishna and Balram back to Mathura. And there he does prayers. So that's why Akrurji is also famous for his prayers, Vandanam. So now Uddhav here is describing these pastimes to Vidurji, because Vidurji is on pilgrimage. He is on Dham Yatra now. So that's why when he meets Uddhavji, he requests him to speak about the pastimes of Krishna. So here Krishna says that when he went, here Uddhavji says that when Krishna went to Mathura city with Baldev, and to please their parents, they dragged Kamsa, the leader of public enemies, down from his throne and killed him, pulling him along the ground with great strength. Because Kamsa, from the beginning, Kamsa was the mama, he was the maternal uncle of Krishna and Balram. So from the very beginning, Kamsa sent many demons in Vrindavan to kill and to finish it off Krishna and Balram. But all of them were killed by Krishna and Balram. So he was frustrated totally. And so in order to, uh, like they say, कि अपने एरिया में हर कोई शेर होता है, लेकिन अपने एरिया से अगर उसको बाहर निकालें, so then we will get to know about his strength. So that's why Kamsa thought about his plan, and he thought, let me bring Krishna and Balram out of Vrindavan, and here I will have Kuvalyapid to kill them. I will have Chanur and Mushtik, other wrestlers, to kill them, and I will have different soldiers and arrangements to kill them as well. So he made different plans, plan A, plan B, plan C, in order to kill Krishna. But Krishna and Balram already knew about the plans of Kamsa. So after killing Kovalyapid and the different soldiers, and ultimately Chanur Mushtik and other wrestlers, Krishna killed Kamsa also. He went to his throne and by hitting at his chest, he brought him down out of the throne and hit at his with his fist. He hit him so hard that Kamsa vomited blood and he immediately died on that spot. So, so this was the wonderful pastime of Kamsa's death, which was happened in Mathura. Today also that um area is also known as Ranga Manch because on that Manch Krishna killed Kamsa. So this was a beautiful pastime which happened there. And here it is mentioned that to please their parents. So it's please their parents, especially here notifies Devki and Vasudev because Devki and Vasudev were long imprisoned by Kamsa, and not only Devki and Vasudev, but Ugrasen was also long imprisoned in uh, the Mathura city. So just by killing them, they were all pleased and they became freed from the clutches of this Kamsa's prison house. So that's why it has been mentioned. And then Nanda Maharaj and Vasudev also meets, or it has been mentioned that here it is mentioned. Their parents feared now comes out finally get the opportunity to kill their sons, whom they had hidden for so long in the house of Nanda Maharaj. So Nanda Maharaj, so in front of Nanda Maharaj and other associates, he killed the Kamsa. So we'll move on to our next verse because there is so much to speak about these wonderful pastimes. So verse number 2. Sandipane Sakrita Proktam Brahma Brahmaditya Swavistaram Tasmai Pradadvaram Putram Mritam Pancha Janodarat. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The Lord learned all the Vedas with their different branches simply by hearing them once from his teacher, San, Sandipini Muni, Sandipani Muni, whom he rewarded by bringing back his dead son from the region of Yamaloka. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. No one but the Supreme Lord can become well versed with all the branches of Vedic wisdom simply by hearing once from his teacher. Nor can anyone bring a dead body back to life after the soul has already gone to the region of Yamaraj. But Lord Krishna ventured to the planet of Yamaloka and found the dead son of his teacher and brought him back to his father as a reward for the instructions received. The Lord is constitutionally well versed in all the Vedas and yet to teach by example that everyone must go to learn the Vedas from an authorized teacher and must satisfy the teacher by service and reward. He himself adopted this system. The Lord offered his service to his teacher, Sandipani Muni, and the Muni, knowing the power of the Lord, asked something which was impossible to be done by anyone else. The teacher asked that his beloved son, who had died, be brought back to him, and the Lord fulfilled the request. The Lord is not, therefore, an ingrate to anyone who renders him some sort of service. The devotees of the Lord, who always engage in his loving service, are never to be disappointed in the progressive march of devotional service. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much. So after the Lord killed Kamsa and all the wrestlers in that Ranga Manch, then Vasudev and Devki thought, let us educate our child. Because Krishna was, you know, 5-6 years at that time, if I am not wrong. And in Vrindavan, he only heard how to graze the cows and the calves. So in Vrindavan, he was Vatsapal and then became Gopal. But and because he was a son of Vaishya, so that's why he could learn all these things from his father Nanda Baba. But now Vasudev was a Kshatriya. Then he thought, let me give a good education to my two sons, Krishna and Balram. So that's why Vasudevji sent Krishna and Balram to Avantipur, which is today is known as uh, near Indore. That place is there, where Mahakaleshwar temple is also there. So Avantipur, Ujjain. So today that place is known as Ujjain. And at present time, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj has built a wonderful temple. And at present time, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj has built a wonderful temple in that place, the city Ujjain, which was formerly known as Avantipur. So there was a guru by the name Sandipani Muni. So there used to stay Sandipani Muni and his good wife. So Guru Mata and Guru Pita. And there was a nice Gurukul which was arranged for all the Kshatriya boys and Brahmana boys to be trained in all the military aspects or the other aspects of the life. And there was a very good education which was supposed to be given earlier in the Gurukul. So that's why Krishna and Balram were sent to Avantipur, Ujjain, to take all those teachings from Sandipani Muni. And Sandipani Muni, in Sandimuni's ashram, Krishna and Balram also met Sudama, which will come, the pastimes of Sudama, which will come also later in the final chapters of 10th canto, the Sudama Lila. So there was a beautiful reciprocation happened between Krishna, Balram, and Sudama and Sandipani Muni. So importantly, Krishna and Balram stayed there for only 64 days. But in 64 days, they learned 64 arts, different arts of Kshatriyas, of Brahmana, of Vaishyas, of basically Kshatriyas and Brahmanas. And they could know everything in and out. In one day, they expertised one particular shiksha, one particular lesson from their Gurudev. And in earlier days, in the Gurukul, the child used to, observe brahmacharya, celibacy. So in Gurukul, they used to serve his guru and they used to observe the vow of celibacy till that time. And secondly, after the education is finished, then the guru of that Gurukul, he will ask the student that please give me this Guru Dikshina, or you may give me this Guru Dakshina. So that was the culture of that Gurukul Paddhati earlier. So then, after the education was finished, Krishna and Balram mastered all the 64 arts. So then they were very happy. Gurudev was also happy. Guru Mata was also happy. And then Krishna and Balram asked that, "Oh Gurudev, you have given us so much beautiful education. Now we want to repay you. How, although your your teachings and blessings are always with us, but still we want to do something to please you. So what we can give you as Guru Dakshina?" So the Guru and Guru Mata discussed and they said that please uh, give us our son which was died earlier near Prabhas Kshetra. And then Guru Maharaj gives Krishna this clue, Krishna and Balram this clue, and Krishna and Balram accepts this because the Gurudev, as Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport, that the Gurudev knew, Sandipani Muni knew that these are not ordinary souls, they are the Lord Himself. So Sandipani Muni has given this instruction that please brought us back our died son from the Prabhas Kshetra. So the Krishna and Balaram then directly goes to Prabhas Kshetra, and then there is a beautiful pastime happens where they are searching in the river, and then there they find that the Shankha, the conch shell Panchajanya, and Krishna accepts that Panchajanya Shankh by fighting with the demon Panchajanya, and then when they from Varun they came to know that their son is in the court of Yamraj. So Krishna and Balram went to then the court of Yamraj, and then there they requested. And as soon as they reached the Yam Nagari or Yamlok, Krishna just blown his conch shell, and just by blowing the conch shell, every suffering soul in that Yamlok, they became purified. And Yamraj himself came at the doorstep with all the paraphernalia to worship Krishna and Balram. And Yamraj worshipped Krishna and Balram. And then when Krishna told him about their purpose of coming, Yamraj happily gave back Sandipani's Muni's died son. And then Krishna and Balram brought them in the earth planet and happily gave it to Sandipani Muni and Guru Mata. So this was the wonderful pastime which happened. So this example shows us that how yad yad acharati shreshas tatta deve tarojana sayat pramanam kurute lokas anuvartate. That whatever great man performs, whatever things great man performs, common man follow. So Krishna advised us that we should also accept a guru. And 2 days back on the Chaturmasa day, there was Guru Purnima also, which signifies the importance of Guru. Not only our material teacher, but our spiritual teacher who helps us in Om Ajnana Timirandasya, yeah, as we say, yeah, or and we say Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya, that please give us the light and take us out from the ignorance. And so this is what it has been explained. So this is the work of Guru to enlighten the student. And second example, second learning we can take from this work is that the Bhagavata of Krishna, that although uh, he was a Swayam Bhagwan, but still he went to learn from his Guru. And secondly, he did ati manaviya karya, that extraordinary thing, superhuman activities as we say. So he performed his activities just to show that even though he comes in a small baby form or small teenager form, but he can do anything because he is the Swayam Bhagwan. He is the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. So these are the wonderful pastimes which Uddhavji is describing to Vidurji. So let's move to the next verse, text number 3. समाहुता भीष्मक कन्याय ये श्रिय सवरे श्रियः सवर्णेन बुभुषयिषं गन्धर्वे वृत्य मिषतं स्वभगं जारे पदं मूर्धनि ददत्सुपर्णः जारे पदं मूर्धनि ददत्सुपर्णः. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Translation. Attracted by the beauty and fortune of Rukmini, the daughter of King Bhishmaka, many great princes and king assembled to marry her. But Lord Krishna, stepping over the other hopeful candidates, carried her away as his own share, as Garuda carried away nectar. Purport. Princess Rukmini, the daughter of King Bhishmaka, was actually as attractive as fortune itself because she was as valuable as gold both in color and in value. Since the goddess of fortune Lakshmi is the property of the Supreme Lord Rukmini, was actually meant for Lord Krishna. But Shishupala was selected as her bridegroom by Rukmini's elder brother. Although King Bhishmaka wanted his daughter to be married to Krishna, Rukmini invited Krishna to take her away from the clutches of Shishupala. So when the bridegroom Shishupala came there with his party with the desire to marry Rukmini, Krishna all of a sudden swept her from the scene, stepping over the heads of all the princes there. Just as Garuda carried away nectar from the hands of the demons, This incident will be clearly explained in the 10th canto. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, bro. Thank you so much. So now we are um, coming to this Dwarka Leela now, because Uddhavji is now very quickly explaining the pastime in a very concise form, in a very what we say, like short-term course, as we say sometimes. When I was, in my engineering college days, so if I couldn't, complete one subject in full 6 months time, then there used to be a crash course for 2 months or 1 month to get the synopsis of all those syllabus. So similarly here, Vidurji is giving the same synopsis in a very short form to to sorry, Uddhavji is giving this synopsis of Krishna Lila in very short form to Vidurji here. So now in this particular verse he is talking about the Dwarka Lila. So basically Krishna and Balram were staying in Dwarka Nagari, and then Krishna receives a letter from one Brahmana, and that letter is from Rukmini. And we all have heard that Rukmini didn't saw Krishna, and she only heard about Krishna through the authorized Brahmanas. And just by hearing, she fell in love with Lord Krishna. And so much so that she wanted to marry Lord Krishna only and no one else. So Rukmini, she was the daughter of Bhishmaka, and Bhishmaka was the king of the Vidarbha province in Maharashtra, as we know, Vidarbha. And the capital of the Vidarbha was Kaundinyapur, which is still situated in the place of Maharashtra, in the Vidarbha region, near few kilometers near to Amravati. So, and Rukmini had six brothers, uh, Rukmi and so on. So the elder brother was Rukmi, and he was very kind of demoniac nature. So he always went and supported to Shishupal and Jarasandh, but he never took side of Krishna. So Rukmini decided that she wanted to marry Krishna because she heard the pastimes of Krishna, his name, form, qualities, and pastimes. So that's why she wrote a letter, because she knew that his brother will not agree. Although his parents was malleable, he was quite uh, supportive to Rukmini, but because of Rukmini, he couldn't take any decision. So that's why Rukmini sent a letter through the Brahmana. And when the letter reached Krishna, it was a wonderful letter where Rukmini sacrificed himself in the service of the Lord, or she wants to dedicate herself to the Lord. So the Lord, uh, accepting her proposal, uh, the Lord came from Dwarka at a very at the speed of wind, and then Rukmini told that before my marriage, I will go to the Mother Parvati's temple, which is outside my palace. So there you please come, and from there you kidnap me. So in this way you can marry me, because she didn't wanted any bloodshed in the palace. So that's why she gave the idea himself to Krishna. And this particular vivaha which Krishna performed with Rukmini was also known as Rakshas vivaha. You can see in this verse itself, it is mentioned Gandharva Vrittaya, or it is also mentioned Gandharva Viva or Rakshas Viva. Also, it has been explained in some portions of Srimad Bhagavatam in 10th canto also. So Rukmini have advised the plan to Krishna, and Krishna, uh, you know, uh, he executed the plan so very well that all the princess, um, well, Rukmini was also, as Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, she was very expert, and she was very beautiful, and she was like gold in color and value also, and she was like the goddess of fortune. because Rukmini Devi is none other than the incarnation of Lakshmi Devi. Also it is explained by our acharyas in some portions that Rukmini Devi is also the incarnation of Chandravali, who was the Gopi Sakhi of Lord Krishna in Vrindavan Dham. Because all the gopis of Vrindavan, they wanted to marry Krishna. So they have incarnated in different forms in Dwarka Lila also, and then Krishna married them. So this is also our acharyas explained. So Shishupal was the bridegroom who was supposed to marry Rukmini. But because of Rukmini's deep desire to serve Krishna and to love Krishna and to marry Krishna, Krishna accepted her proposal and Krishna came. And as Rukmini went inside the temple of goddess Durga, and as she as she came out, Krishna immediately he kept the chariot ready, and he came with the chariot and just snatched her in front of everybody. So everybody was waiting and everybody was seeing the beauty of Rukmini in that assembly, and Shishupal was very excited to marry such beautiful daughter of Bhishmaka. But in front of everybody, Krishna stole Rukmini. Krishna kidnapped Rukmini exactly as Garud Devji carried nectar in front of all the demoniacs, all the demoniac persons. So this was very nicely explained in the 10th canto. And this shows that when we dedicate ourselves in hearing about the Lord, speaking about the Lord, remembering about the Lord will keep us, or the Lord will become ours, and He will take us from all the bad associations, and He will always protect us. That's why it has been explained in Bhagavad Gita. Shipram bhavati dharmatma shashvak shantim nigacchati kaunteya prati janihi name bhaktya pranashyati. So Shipram bhavati dharmatma, that my devotee will not perish and he will get eternal peace. Shipram bhavati dharmatma, and he will immediately become dharmatma. He will immediately become pious, even though he falls down. But I will never let him fall down. I will always protect him. This is the statement of Bhagavad Gita, which comes in 9th chapter 31 verse. And in some portion it is also explained that as a lion takes his prey takes his prey out in front of different hyenas. Similarly, Lord Krishna took Rukmini Devi in front of those assembly of demoniac kings. So this is also explained nicely in 10th canto. So let's move on to our next verse, text number 4. ककूद्मिनो अविदनाशो दमित्वा स्वयंवरे नग्नजितं मुवाह तत् भगना मनन्नपि गृध्यतो अज्ञन् जाग्ने अक्षतः शास्त्रवृतः स्वशास्त्र है. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. By subduing 7 bulls whose noses were not pierced, the Lord achieved the hand of Princess Nagnijiti in the open competition to select her bridegroom. Although the Lord was victorious, his competitors asked the hand of the princess, and thus there was a fight. Well equipped with weapons, the Lord killed or wounded all of them, but he himself was not hurt. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Guru. Thank you. So this comes again in the Dwarka Leela, this particular episode where Lord Krishna went to King Nagnajit, who wanted to give his daughter to that chivalrous person, or to that brave person, to that strong person who could subdue the 7 bulls which were kept in his palace. So these 7 bulls were so ferocious and danger that it was very difficult to tie them also. It was very difficult to control them as well. It and to that extent that it was very difficult to pierce their nose with ropes as well. So King Nagnajit and the daughter of King Nagnajit was Nagnajiti, as Drupad's daughter is known as Draupadi. So similarly, Nagnajit's daughter is known as Nagnajiti. So his father kept this condition that those personality, that personality who will subdue the 7 bulls will be the will get the award of my daughter. I will marry that person with I will marry my daughter with that person. So this was the condition kept, and that was the open competition for anyone. And many people tried, but after seeing the bulls, they could not step forward. And in that way, till such a big time, Princess Nagnajiti was, was waiting to find a suitable husband. But then once Lord Krishna came to know about this plan, about uh, this proposal of Nagnajit, and when Krishna came, he nicely welcomed the king. Nagnajit nicely welcomed Krishna with all those paraphernalia, and he glorified him. And then Krishna went to subdue all those 7 bulls. And Krishna, just by his presence and his touch, he subdued all the 7 bulls in a very short span of time. And seeing this, everybody got surprised. Everybody got bewildered at how such impossible work, impossible task Krishna could do. So many peoples were favorable towards Lord Krishna. So they glorified him, they garlanded him, and they brought Nagnajiti towards Lord Krishna. But still, there were some people who were envious of Krishna. So they all took their weapons and they wanted to fight Krishna. So Krishna, in no time, defeated all of them and then finally married Nagnajiti and took Nagnajiti to his Dwarka Nagari. So this is also wonderful pastime where we see the chivalry of Lord Krishna, the Ati Manviya Karya, the superhuman activities as we were talking about of Lord Sri Krishna. So the Krishna is competent to do anything and everything because he is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is that omnipotent law. Because in Ram Leela, in Ramayana, he took a vow to marry only one woman. But in Krishna Leela, because he was, you know, there to uh, marry all those rishis from the Dandakaryana forest. Because those rishis in Dandakaryana forest, they did a tough austerity in order to get the Supreme Lord Krishna. And all these rishis appeared in the form of this beautiful princess so that they can take association of Lord Krishna. So this is a wonderful Leela where Lord, uh, you know, accepted that open competition proposal and defeated those 7 bulls and conquered them and won the heart of Nagnajiti. So this Nagnajiti comes in the uh, principal 8 queens like Satyabhama, Rukmini is there, then Kalindi is there, then Lakshmana. So all this 8 principal, like we have 8 principal gopis. Similarly, we have 8 principal wives of Lord Krishna in Dwarka. So Nagnajiti comes in this top 8 wives of Lord Krishna. So this is also wonderful pastime which is deeply described in the 10th canto, but here it is concisely explained. So we'll move on to our next verse, text number 5. Priyam Prabhu Gramya Iva Priyaya विदित्सुरार्चयद् द्युतरं यद् अर्थे वज्रियद्रवत्तं स गानो रुषन्दः क्रीडमृगो नूनम् अयं वादुनं क्रीडामृगो नूनमयं वादुनम्. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Yes, Prabhu. Just to please his dear wife, the Lord brought back the parijat tree from heaven, just as an ordinary husband would do. But Indra, the king of heaven, induced by his wives, henpecked as he was, ran after the Lord with full force to fight him. The Lord once went to heavenly planet to present an earring to Aditi, the mother of the demigods, and his wife Satyabhama also went with him. There is a special flowering tree called Parijat, which grows only in the heavenly planets, and Satyabhama wanted this tree. Just to please his wife, like an ordinary husband, the Lord brought back the tree, and this enraged Vajri, or the controller of the thunderbolt. Indra's wives inspired him to run after the Lord to fight, and Indra, because he was a henpecked husband and also a fool, listened to them and dared to fight with Krishna. He was a fool on this occasion because he forgot that everything belongs to the Lord. There was no fault on the part of the Lord, even though he took away the tree from the heavenly kingdom. But because Indra was henpecked, dominated by his beautiful wives like Sachi, he became a fool. Just as all persons who are dominated by their wives are generally foolish. Indra thought that Krishna was a henpecked husband who only by the will of his wife Satyabhama took away the property of heaven, and therefore he thought that Krishna could be punished. He forgot that the Lord is a proprietor of everything and cannot be handpacked. The Lord is fully independent, and by his will only he can have hundreds and thousands of wives like Satyabhama. He was not therefore attached to Satyabhama because she was a beautiful wife, but he was pleased with her devotional service and thus wanted to reciprocate the unalloyed devotion of his devotee. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much. So again, this is a wonderful pastime of chivalry of Lord Krishna. Because Lord Krishna reciprocates, or Lord Krishna does Leela for his own pleasure actually. Sometimes he does Madhurya Leela, sometimes he does Chivalry Leela, sometimes he performs Vatsalya Leela. So just to get pleasure and give pleasure. That's why we say Anandamaya Abhyasat. That we all are seeking Ananda because it comes from Lord Krishna. Because he is the Strot of all Ananda, Paramananda. So here in this particular verse, it has been explained that Indra, once upon a time, it so happened like the demon Narkasur, he he has stolen 16,100 queens, princes basically from different parts, and he kept in his palace. And then this news reached Krishna through Indra or through other some demigods. So Lord Krishna took immediately action and he went there and killed Narkasur, and before he killed other demons also who were trying to help other people who were trying to help Narkasur. So he killed all of them and he protected the 16,100 queens. And then Narkasur, sorry, it was Bhaumasur. It was the son of Bhumi Devi. So Bhaumasur was protected by many demoniac friends, and Krishna went there and he killed all of those demoniac friends of Bhaumasur first, and later he killed Bhaumasur. And Bhaumasur was the child of Lord Krishna himself and Bhumi Devi. and he protected the all the 16,100 princes basically, and later on he married all of those 16,100 princes. But to cut the story short, this Bhaumasur has taken many different paraphernalia like of devatas, like he stole the earring of Mother Aditi, and so many things of heavenly demigods. He snatched away some good items, the extraordinary items. So Krishna went to subdue or kill Bhaumasur, and later on he took away all those items or the paraphernalia which he stolen from the devatas. And then Krishna, one of the item was the earring of Aditi. So Krishna went with Satyabhama after he rescued all the 16,100 princes. He brought them to Dwarka, married them, and then Krishna, just to take his as generally husbands take his wife for a long ride. So similarly, Krishna took Satyabhama on Garud Devji for a long ride to heavenly planets. And in heavenly planets, he first met Indra. Indra worshipped him. Indra welcomed him with nice paraphernalia, flower garlands, incense, and so forth. And then Krishna went on to meet Mother Aditi, gave her her earring, which was stolen by Bhaumasur. And after this, he meets everybody, Krishna. And then while going, as they were about to sit on Garudji, or this sat on Garudji, and then Satyabhama saw a very nice tree with so much beautiful flowers, white flowers, and with very nice fragrance. And that particular tree was Parijat tree, and the flowers were so beautiful and with so much fragrance that Satyabhama couldn't stop herself. So, so she requested Krishna that I want this flower, I want this tree. So Krishna, like a ideal husband, he said, okay. So Krishna, from one hand, snatched or uprooted that particular tree, Parijat tree. Of course, there was not one tree. There was many trees of Parijat flowers. And he uprooted that tree and he tried to road back. He tried to go back to his Dwarka Nagari. But in between, this uh, the wife of Indra Sachi saw this and he informed Indra. And then Indra came with his soldiers to fight Lord Krishna about this act. Of course, Krishna was the supreme personality of Godhead and he always protected demigods and the wives of the demigods and the mother of the demigods as well, as we can see from this episode where Krishna came and returned this earring to Mother Aditi. But still, Indra in no fraction of time forget everything. Indra forget all the good that Krishna has done towards him and his family or the for the whole devatas. But he remembered only that thing which his wife, told him, or he saw that Krishna took the Parijat tree. Of course, there was no scarcity in the heavenly kingdoms about the Parijat tree, but Indra was always is controlled by his ego. So generally, we control our senses, but here the senses are controlling Indradev. So this was his mistake, and he tried to fight with Krishna. And of course, Krishna is a one-man army. Krishna, just by sitting on Garuda, he killed all of the soldiers and punished Indra as well. And this is how then he defeated, and Indra realized his mistake. He again folded his hands and took forgiveness from Lord Krishna. So here it is mentioned the Lord is fully independent and by his will only he can have hundreds and thousands of wives like Satyabhama. He has not therefore attached to Satyabhama because she was beautiful wife, but he was pleased with her devotional service and thus wanted to reciprocate with unalloyed devotion of his devotee. So this episode tells us that the Lord Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. These last two lines are very important for our understanding that of course Indra was in the, you know, he was basically a hen-pecked husband, as it is mentioned by Srila Prabhupada, that he was always controlled by his wife, or he was always in the control of his wife. But Lord Krishna was not in control of his wife, Satyabhama. Because why? Because Lord Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardhan. He only accepts the bhav. He is not Dravya Grahi Janardhan. He is not concerned about the objects. He is concerned about the love through which we offer the object to him. So Krishna was very much happy with the service of Satyabhama, and Satyabhama is none other than Srimati Radharani in Vrindavan Leela. So she incarnated as Satyabhama, and Chandravali incarnated as Rukmini in the Dwarka Leela. And Krishna was very happy with the service of Satyabhama, and in order to reciprocate towards Satyabhama, he took the Parijat tree, and after taking Parijat tree, Krishna has to face the consequences of fighting with Indra. So Krishna fought with Indra and became victorious, and in this way he pleased Satyabhama also. And later on, Indra also apologized for his mistake, and Krishna happily forgave him with a big heart, generous heart, and Krishna brought that Parijat tree in Dwarka Nagari, and then he again, you know, installed it in his beautiful garden area in the palace of Satyabhama. So this is also a wonderful episode where Lord Krishna uh, is showing his beautiful Leela, that how he is going to heavenly kingdom and coming back. So generally we get, forget, but God gives, forgives. So we should always be grateful towards the Lord and his devotees, because when everything goes right, nobody will come and thank Lord Krishna and his devotees. But if something goes wrong, then they will point out Lord Krishna and devotees also, that because of you this has happened. But we should always look for the broader picture. That means we should always look for the good things with which others do for us, and we should neglect that bad things. So generally in our life, when somebody does the good, nobody appreciates. But if somebody by mistakenly, without any intention, if somebody does bad, then immediately we remember till our last breath. So we should be very careful about this. So we should always, so that's why Lord Jagannath says that if my devotees anything does small in my service, then I keep my eyes wide open, and I can so that I can magnify my devotees small things and think that my devotee has done so much big. And in Chaturmasya, when Lord Vishnu or Lord Narayan, he is sleeping in Yog Nidra, so then he gives the message that if my devotee does anything mistake, then I close my eyes and I say I haven't seen anything. And if my devotee has done also, then he will improve. So this is the mood and the big heart of Lord Krishna or Narayan, Lord Jagannath, that he always wants to reciprocate with his devotees in a loving exchange. And they also want to forgive. So similarly, if they are forgiving, they are tolerating, then we should also be tolerant about that. One time, one person came, uh, and one of our Maharaj was there. So he asked Maharaj, I don't remember the name of the Maharaj, but he said that devotee came and said to Maharaj, Maharaj, I am not able to tolerate this particular devotee who is staying with me in the ashram. So what should I do about it? So Maharaj said, think, if Krishna is tolerating you, then you should also tolerate that devotee. So we get a moral or message from this beautiful example, that no matter what happens, we should always be devoted to the service of the Lord. If reverses come, we should accept it as mercy of the Lord, and we should not retaliate. So this is the lesson we can take from this beautiful episode. So let's move on to verse number 6. Sutam सुतं हृदेखं वपुष ग्रसन्तं दृष्ट्वा सुनाभोन्मथितं धारित्र्य अमन्त्रितस्तत्तनयाय शेषं दत्त्वा तद् अन्तःपुरमविशेष. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry, somebody is reading.
It's okay, please, Mataji.
Translation and purport by Sri Prabhupada. Jai Sri Prabhupada. Narakasur, the son of Dharitri, the earth, tried to grasp the whole sky, and for this he was killed by the Lord in a fight. His mother then prayed to the Lord. This led to the return of the kingdom to the son of Narakasur, and thus the Lord entered the house of the demon. Purport. It is said in other Puranas that Narakasur was the son of Dharitri, the earth, by the Lord himself, but he became a demon due to the bad association of Bana, another demon. An atheist is called a demon, and it is a fact that even a person born of good parents can turn into demon by bad association. Birth is not always the criterion of goodness. Unless and until one is trained in the culture of good association, one cannot become good. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. So yeah, so in previous verse also we talked about this. So the Narakasur and Bhaumasur is the same. So sometimes it is addressed as Bhaumasur because he was the son of Bhumi Devi, and sometimes he was addressed as Narakasur because he he was such a bad demon that wherever he would go, he would make that place hellish for others to survive. So that's why he made uh, the life hellish for all those 16,100 princes also. And he was killed by the Lord himself, as we discussed in this last verse in a fight. And then his mother prayed to the Lord that please give him another chance after the Lord killed that demon Narkasur, Bhaumasur, which was his own son. Then Bhumi Devi prayed so that in his next life he could achieve his devotional service. So this is what it has been explained in Krishna book and Canto 10 also. And in this way, the Lord later on, there are so many demons uh, in the Nagari or the in the what we say in the city of Narkasur. So Krishna killed all of the demons, and they were so mystic demons that they could, you know, they could go here and there. They would become invisible. So in this way, there were so much of uh, entertainment and thrill is there in this wonderful pastime, which has been explained in Krishna book and Srimad Bhagavatam 10 Canto in detailed manner. So here from we can see that Banasur was also supporting him. So although Bhaumasur was the son of Bhumi Devi and Lord Krishna, but still due to bad association, you know, still due to the bad company, he became a demon instead of becoming a devata or a devotee. So this is the effect of bad association which we can see. Although we are born in a very good family, Brahmana culture, as we can see, take from the example of Jagai Madai from Chaitanya Charitamrit, that they were Jagdananda and Madhavananda. They were brahmacharis actually. But because of their bad association, they became, like Bhaumasur or Narkasur. They would kill anybody, they could rape anybody, they could snatch anybody's wealth. And in this way, they could do all those sins which are prohibited in human life. And they could see it has been mentioned that every day they would uh, take Manu Samhita and they would see which are the sins we have not committed yet. We will commit this today. So Chitragupta was also bewildered by their endless sins, and he was also bewildered, and he was also, what we say, troubled by this kind of activities of Jagai and Madhai. But when that Jagai and Madhai came in contact with Nityanand Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, they became purified and they finally surrendered to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So similarly, when we are also in bad association, our vision gets covered. So we have to always seek the association of devotees and Lord, because when we stay in the association of good devotees, the right-minded devotees, then it helps us to come out of our comfort zone and to progress further in Krishna consciousness. So there are two types of devotees. One is like-minded devotees and another one is right-minded devotees. So if we stay with like-minded devotees, then they will say, oh, let's go here, let's go there, we will do everything, we will do Krishna Bhakti also. So this is called as Kanishta Adhikari. But we have to always seek guidance and help of the right-minded devotees. Manish uh, Madhyam or Uttam Adhikari. Because the right-minded devotees will tell you what is good for you. The like-minded devotees will tell, no, sab kuch chalta hai, this also we will do. That will be Mishrit Bhakti. But when we stay in association or in the under the shelter of right-minded devotees, then they take us out of our comfort zone and they actually engage in the service of the Lord. So the association matter. That's why it has been said that a person is known by the company he keeps. So if we are in the association of devotees, then we will have a sattvic mentality, we will have a service attitude. But if we stay in the association of uh, bad persons, then we will not do anybody's good, but we will do bad only. So this is what the association matters. So that's why it has been said, sadhu sangha sarva shastra koye, lava matra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoy. That if we get the association of sadhu even for a moment or a fraction of second, that will help us to freed, or that will help us to get purified. And this is the crux of all scriptures. Sadhu sangha sharva shastra ko hai, lav matra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoy. Just by moments of association will give us the all perfection of our life. So this is the effect of sadhu sangha. So in this Chaturmasya we have to do these five things. Sadhu sangha, साधु संग नाम कीर्तन भागवत श्रवण मथुरा वास श्री मूर्तिर श्रद्धाय सेवन. So we have to do sadhu sangha, association of devotees, right-minded devotees. Nama kirtan, we have to chant the holy names of the Lord. Bhagavata Shravan, we have to hear about Srimad Bhagavatam, hear from the Srimad Bhagavatam, read from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Mathura Vas, we have to do Dham Vas also. Pandharpur Dham, Ayodhya Dham, Vrindavan, Mathura, Mayapur, Jagannath Puri, Som, Avabilam Dham. So there are so many wonderful dhams, pastime places of the Lord. There also we can go. Dwarka Dham. And Shraddha Yasevan. And we can also worship the deities of Thakur Ji, Shri Radha Krishna, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, Shri Gaur Nitai Ji, Laddu Gopal Ji. So in this way we can serve them also. And if we are not able to, and Tulsi Seva is also recommended in these 4 months, which is known as Chaturmas. So if we do this fourth different devotional aspects of the Lord, then this will help us to purify us. And this is a sale period for 4 months. Generally, there is a sale, so the Matajis will go to buy all the saris. So similarly, this is sale for all, so that we can take the maximum benefit from this Chaturmas. Let's move on to our final verse, text number 7. तत्रारितस्तनरदेवकन्यः कुजेन दृष्ट्वा हरिमर्थबन्धुम् उत्थया साध्यो जागृह प्रर्ष हृदि नानुराग प्रहितावलोकै. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. There in the house of demon, all the princesses kidnapped by Narkasur at once became alert upon seeing the Lord, the friend of the distressed. They looked up upon him with eagerness, joy, and shyness and offered to be his wives. Purport: Narkasur kidnapped many daughters of great kings and kept them imprisoned in his palace. But when he was killed by the Lord and the Lord entered the house of demon, all the princes were enlivened with joy and offered to become his wives, because the Lord is only friend of the distressed. Unless the Lord accepted them, there would be no chance of their being married, because the demon kidnapped them from their father's custody, and therefore no one would agree to marry them. According to Vedic society, girls are transferred from the custody of the parents to the custody of husband. Since this princess had already been taken away from the custody of their fathers, it would have been difficult for them to have any husband other than the Lord himself. Hare Krishna. So this is the pastime which we were talking about since last 2 3 verse. As Uddhav ji is explaining this pastimes to Vidur ji, Srila Prabhupada also giving a um, very nice purport, very colorful purport, or very heart touching purport, and he is explaining each and every aspect about this Leela. Because although with Uddhav ji is speaking in a concise way, but still Srila Prabhupada is giving very nice rasmay purports, full of mellows, full of rasas, that we are able to understand each and everything from this. So as we discussed that Narkasur uh, had kidnapped 16,100 princes from different areas, different palaces, different parts of the world, and he kept in his palace. And he wanted to enjoy all of those 16,100 princes. But Krishna came on time, because Krishna is the friend of distress. That's why we call Krishna as Dina Bandhu, who is the friend of distress. And it is my Guru Maharaj also explained that Dina Bandhu Dina Anath Meri Dori Tere Haath. So in this way, it is a prayer actually, that Hey Dina Bandhu, Hey Dina Nath, O friend of the distress, O the master of the fallen, Dina Bandhu Dina Nath Meri Dori Tere Haath. That my ropes, or my uh, if I am like the chariot, then my ropes are with you, so you can give the direction to my chariot and engage me in your service. So this is the prayer actually. So here it has been explained by Srila Prabhupada that in the Vedic society earlier, the girl was not allowed to stay outside her home over the night also. And if the girl is touched by any other person, any other unknown person, then the girl would not get married to a proper person. So similarly, when the Narkasur kidnapped, Bhaumasur kidnapped all those 16,100 princes, then there was no hope for the girls now, the princess now, to get married to the suitable husband. Because in the Vedic society, Vedic culture, from the custody of parents, the daughter goes to the custody of their husbands. So this is the society. And Srila Prabhupada also explains that a lady is always protected by first his father, second is by husband, and if husband is not there, then by the elder child, takes the responsibility of protecting the woman. So this has been explained. In the Vedic society, the women's are given very significant role. They are given very protection, so that they will not get polluted. So similarly, uh, here also it has been explained by Srila Prabhupada that this was the custom of the Vedic society. And since the princess were been kidnapped by Bhaumasur, that's why the princesses were at very anxiety that what would happen to them, all the princesses. And they when they saw Lord Krishna, they became alert and they got a hope that the Lord will uh, uplift them from this difficult position or difficult situation where they are into now. So then they looked at the Lord with eagerness and joy and also shyness. And at the end, when the Lord killed Narkasur, Bhaumasur, and came to see all the 16,100 princes, so the Lord just by his glance pacified them, and at their request, Lord accepted them as their wives. So that's why the Lord then married all the 16,100 wives at one time in different palaces of Dwarka. And Lord Krishna established 16,100 palaces immediately for all these beautiful princesses, and he married them one by one. So this is also one of the opulence of the Lord. That's why he is known as Bhagavan. And when Narad Muni comes to see the Lord that how he is managing 16,100 princes, then the Lord comes and sees, then Narad Muni comes and sees that with uh, with one wife Lord Krishna is playing chess, with some wife Lord Krishna is doing other activities, with some wife Lord Krishna is doing different activity. And whenever Narad Muni goes there, L- Narad Muni is welcomed like he has been seen after a very long time. So this is what the Aishwarya of Krishna. के हो बोले पूरबे रावण बदिला गोलोके वैभव लीला प्रकाश कोरिला श्री राधार भावे बेगोरा अवतार हरे कृष्ण नाम गौर करिला प्रचार वासुदेव घोष बोले कोरि जोड़ हाथ जय गौर से कृष्ण से जगन्नाथ जय जय जगन्नाथ सचिर नंदन त्रिभुवन कोरे जर चरण वंदन. So it has been explained in this particular bhajan by Vasudev Ghosh that केहो बोले पूरबे रावण बदीला गोलो के वैभव लीला प्रकाश कोरिला. That in previous life, this particular son of Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra, he killed the demon Ravan, and then in the Dwapar Yuga, he depicted or he enacted his wonderful pastimes. केहो बोले पूरबे रावण बदिला गोलोके रवै भवलीला prakash karila. And the opulence of Goloka he brought here in his Dwarka, Brindavan or Mathura Lila, and he reciprocated with such love and affection with all his devotees, all his wives, and it was Aishwarya, like Dwarka Nagari is like Aishwarya for the Lord, but still the Lord always went to see Pandavas, Kunti Devi, and he took the affairs of the he took the responsibilities of the king very nicely, and everything he was taking care like ideal husband, ideal king. So everything was perfectly done by the Lord, and this is the example of his Vaibhav Leela, which he has done superhuman activities as we are discussing, and it is a wonderful Leela. And as we will read this in Krishna book or in 10th canto, we will relish it more and more. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So with this, I conclude today's session. If anybody has any questions or comments, we can take. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Please forgive my shortcomings and whatever anything good you have heard that belongs to our ISKCON Guru Vrind. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, thank you so much for the wonderful class. Prabhuji, one thing I don't understand that how demigod can be fooled so easily. I mean, where sometimes they want to fight God, or sometimes they want to compete him, because they must have gone through the process of bhakti, right? So how they don't remember this when they come to this particular thing?
Hare Krishna, bro. Very nice question. So one angle is to see it as Leela, because the Lord, through the example of Indra, that showing us that how pride is dangerous. We have seen Indra in so many Leelas that out of his ignorance, he forgets the Lord and he tries to go against the Lord. So from this we can understand that even the Devi Devatas are also been enamored by the pride. So the pride comes before the fall, as we say. So similarly, the Lord Krishna is teaching us that Indra, being a demigod, he is the king of heaven, Indra. He is having Brahaspati Guru as well. He is having the greatest weapon, Thunderbolt as well. But still, due to his power and position, he becomes so much blind that he tries to go against the Lord. So this is one aspect. From this, we can understand. From this, we can understand that the Lord is teaching us, teaching the example of Indra, that if we become like this, then the Lord will crush our false ego in no time. Second aspect is this: Devi Devtas are also so with, they are given so much of opulence that they sometimes think themselves as God. And because of this false prestige, false mentality, false ego, they are going against the Lord. So in there are three planetary systems: upper, lower, and middle. So we are in the middle planetary system. So in the lower planetary systems, there is so much pain in the Narak Lokas and all. There is so much pain that nobody, gets the chance to remember the Lord. And in heavenly planets, the upper planetary systems, there is so much opulence that they will hardly remember the Lord because of so much pleasure and so much opulence there. But in earthly planets, the middle planetary systems, we have given little pain, little gain, or little pain or little sorrow, so that we can balance this and try to remember the Lord. So this is the thing which I have heard from my superiors. So we can take it, Prabhu, as an Leela, because Krishna comes to show Leela. Sometimes Sudarshanji and Hanumanji also, uh, becomes the part of this Leela so that they can teach us. Apane acharite jagat sikhaya. That from their own devotees' example, they are showing this to us. And of course, Indra is not a fool, but just to help the Lord to fulfill his pastimes, uh, he acts in this way for our this thing. Because as Srila Prabhupada gives the example, sometimes नई नई बहू जब घर पे आती है तो सास उसको डायरेक्टली नहीं बोल सकती कि आप ऐसा मत करो, या नई बहू कभी खाने में मिर्ची ज़्यादा डाल देती है, तो जो सासू माँ होती है वो पहले अपने बेटी को बोलती है कि बेटा खाने में मिर्ची कम होनी चाहिए। इस तरह से जब बेटी को बोलती है तो ऑटोमेटिकली मैसेज बहू को भी चला जाता है। सो सिमिलरली जब इंद्र या फिर ऐसे जो देवतागण जो है वो मूर्ख बन जाते हैं अपने मिथ्या अहंकार की वजह से, तो उनके उदाहरण से हम जैसे भक्त भी सतर्क हो जाते हैं ताकि हम ऐसे अपराध या ऐसी गलतियां ना करें जिससे कि जो है हमारी भक्ति में बाधा आए और हम भगवान की सेवा से विलग हो पाए। ठीक है प्रभु जी, हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Any other doubts, any other comments, or there are many senior
No, Prabhu,
Vaishnavas
thank you
here?
very much for the class.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Shall we say Vaishnava Mantra, Prabhuji?
Sorry,
Thank you,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
Vaishnava Mantra, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. So, Subal Krishna Prabhu, Subal Sakha Prabhu already left because
Yes.
of some
Yeah, true.
thing, but we will conclude the session now. So, thank you so much for your association. Please forgive my shortcomings and please pray for us so that I should not only speak, but I should also implement this in my life, what I have spoken. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Ram, Ram,
Rama
Hare.
Rama, Hare Hare. We all will pray for each other so that we can prosper in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram, 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa
Panchakalpatra Sindhu Pevacha Patitanam Pavabhyo
sindhu
Vaishnav
Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha.
अनंत कोटि
Ananta Koti
वैष्णव
Vaishnav
की
श्रील
Jai,
प्रभुपाद की जय।
Jai,
उपस्थित भक्त की जय। ग्रंथ
Jai.